Imagine standing before an ancient oil press. The air carries the faint aroma of crushed seeds, and the golden liquid that trickles out isn't olive oil at all. It's from a plant so rare that its name was lost for centuries. What if the healthiest fats on earth didn't come from groves of olives, palms, or nuts, but from humble seeds hidden in Bronze Age tombs, desert trees that once lubricated precision watch mechanisms, or star-shaped pods revered by Amazonian cultures? Picture a weed that farmers once cursed, now helping replace fish oil. These are more than curiosities. They are the overlooked treasures of our food history. Today, we'll journey beyond the familiar olive grove into forgotten fields and remote forests to meet the heritage crops that produce truly remarkable cold-pressed oils. Why did we stop using them? And could they hold the key to a healthier and more sustainable future? Throughout history, oils and fats have been prized for their ability to nourish, preserve, and illuminate. In the Mediterranean, olive oil became so central to life that it shaped cultures and economies. Its monounsaturated fats, antioxidants, and delicate flavor still occupy a place of honor on our tables. Yet, the focus on olives and a handful of commercial oil crops has blinded us to the extraordinary diversity of plant oils once valued around the world. Long before global trade homogenized diets, communities pressed oil from whatever seeds or nuts their environment provided. These fats weren't just calories. They carried medicinal value, enabled crafts such as perfumery and candle making, and often held spiritual significance. And many of those heritage crops vanished with changing agricultural policies, war, or the arrival of higher-yielding staples. Others were relegated to cosmetics or industrial uses, their culinary virtues forgotten. Today, we're rediscovering the importance of functional fats. Oils rich in beneficial fatty acids like omega-3s, omega-6s, and the rare omega-7. Science now links certain plant oils to reduced inflammation, improved heart health, and better brain function. At the same time, concerns about environmental sustainability and food sovereignty drive renewed interest in resilient crops that can grow on marginal land without heavy inputs. This sets the stage for our exploration. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll travel from the Bronze Age plains of Europe to the forests of East Africa, the Andean foothills, and the Himalayan highlands, and even the weedy edges of modern grain fields. In each place, we'll meet a plant whose oil composition is unique, whose history is compelling, and whose revival carries lessons for our future. Keep an ear open. Every few minutes, I'll pose a question or reveal a twist designed to keep your curiosity alight. Camelina, the forgotten gold of pleasure. Our first stop is Northern Europe, more than 3,000 years ago. Bronze Age farmers cultivated a plant they called gold of pleasure, Camelina sativa. Its yellow flowers illuminated fields from Finland to Romania, and its tiny seeds were collected and crushed for oil. Archaeologists have unearthed Camelina seeds in prehistoric settlements and, intriguingly, in Bronze Age fortresses far from its native range. Why would ancient people transport sacks of these little seeds across mountains? Camelina oil was highly valued for its balanced fatty acid profile. It contains around 1/3 alpha-linolenic acid, an omega-3 fatty acid that supports cardiovascular health, about 1/4 omega-6 linoleic acid, and a generous dose of vitamin E, which acts as a natural antioxidant. This combination made Camelina oil stable and resistant to rancidity, ideal for lamps and food. For centuries, Camelina filled a niche in the European diet. It didn't demand fertile soils. It thrived on marginal land and matured quickly, tolerating frost and drought. It was also used medicinally to soothe skin and digestive ailments. So why did such a versatile crop disappear? After World War II, and agricultural subsidies in Europe favored high-yielding oil seeds like rapeseed and sunflowers. Camelina's modest yields couldn't compete, and within a generation, it was relegated to the status of a weed known as false flax. Fields of golden blooms became a memory. But what happens when a forgotten weed meets modern nutritional science? In the late 20th century, researchers began looking for plant-based sources of omega-3s to reduce reliance on fish oil. They rediscovered camelina's unique profile and its resilience on dryland farms. Farmers in Montana, Russia, and Finland experimented with this antique crop again. Unlike flax oil, which turns rancid quickly, camelina's naturally high gamma-tocopherol content extends its shelf life. Pilot projects found that camelina meal, the protein-rich cake left after pressing, are boosted omega-3 levels in eggs and meat when fed to chickens and cattle. Today, camelina oil is popping up in salad dressings and nutritional supplements. In 2013, NASA even tested camelina-derived biofuel in aircraft engines. From Bronze Age lamp fuel to modern jet fuel, camelina's story shows how a forgotten seed can light up the present when we look at old plants with new eyes. Ben Oil Moringa's gift of stability. Now travel south to the arid landscapes of the Middle East and East Africa, where a slender tree with feathery leaves stands like a miracle against the pale sky. This is Moringa peregrina and its more widely cultivated cousin, Moringa oleifera. Often called the drumstick tree or miracle tree, every part of moringa is edible or useful. The leaves are rich in protein and micronutrients. The pods feed animals, and the seeds purify water. But hidden inside those seeds is an oil once prized by ancient civilizations. Known as ben oil or behen oil, a nod to behenic acid, a fatty acid that lends it stability. This light, virtually odorless oil is composed of around 80% mono-unsaturated fats, mostly oleic acid, alongside long-chain fatty acids like behenic acid that give it an exceptionally long shelf life. Records from ancient Egypt describe moringa oil being used to infuse perfumes and protect skin from the harsh desert climate. Egyptologists have found small alabaster jars of ben oil in tombs, still fragrant after thousands of years. Its remarkable stability also made it valuable in more recent times. Watchmakers and clockmakers used ben oil to lubricate delicate gears because it resisted oxidation. And farmers on the Arabian Peninsula and along the Nile pressed the oil by hand, then used the leftover seed cake to clarify water moringa proteins act as a natural coagulant. Imagine a single plant offering nutrition, skincare, water purification, and mechanical lubrication. Why did we let such an all-purpose oil fade from memory? As cheaper oils flooded global markets, moringa's laborious seed pressing fell out of economic favor. Many moringa trees were cut for firewood or simply ignored for their leaves alone. Only recently, as communities in Kenya, India, and Senegal have sought resilient cash crops, has ben oil been reconsidered. Studies of cold-pressed moringa oil from India show that it contains roughly 82% unsaturated fats and only 13% saturated fats, making it comparable to olive oil, but with an even longer shelf life. In regions vulnerable to food insecurity, planting moringa trees provides both a nutrient-dense leaf vegetable and a source of high-value oil. Small cooperatives now supply ben oil to natural cosmetics companies, generating income for women farmers. Once again, the synergy of tradition and modernity is breathing life into an ancient oil. Sasha Inchi stars of the Amazon from deserts. We head to the humid emerald depths of the Amazon. Here, a vine climbs elegantly up trees, producing pods that resemble tiny green stars. Inside each star pod are dark seeds that were treasured by indigenous people long before the rise of the Inca Empire. This plant, Plucanicia volubilis, carries many names: Sasha Inchi, mountain peanut, Inca nut. Ceramic vessels depicting its shape have been found in tombs dating back 3,000 to 5,000 years. The seeds provided protein and fat to Amazonian communities and were sometimes roasted and eaten like nuts. When pressed, Sacha inchi seeds yield an oil that is about 92% unsaturated fat. Remarkably, around 50% of that is alpha-linolenic acid, an omega-3 fatty acid that is often lacking in modern diets. To put it in perspective, Sacha inchi oil contains more omega-3 per tablespoon than flax or chia and more protein per ounce than an egg. It also holds a balanced ratio of omega-6 and omega-9 fatty acids and is rich in delta and gamma tocopherols, forms of vitamin E, which protect it from oxidation. A seed with more omega-3s than salmon? That sounds too good to be true, but there's a catch. The catch was bitter taste. Raw Sacha inchi seeds contain compounds that make them unpleasantly bitter. Indigenous peoples knew to roast the seeds gently to remove bitterness before eating them or pressing for oil. However, when researchers first introduced the oil to international markets in the 2000s, some producers neglected this step, resulting in products that turned consumers away. Nevertheless, as knowledge of proper roasting and cold pressing spread, Sacha inchi oil gained recognition. Nutritional studies have shown it can help lower bad cholesterol and reduce inflammation. Beyond its health benefits, Sacha inchi's cultivation offers socio-economic promise. The vines produce fruit within 9 months and continue for several years. They thrive in diverse soils and require minimal inputs, making them ideal for reforestation and sustainable agriculture programs in the Amazon. Organizations working with Peruvian smallholders encourage Sacha inchi as an alternative to illicit coca crops. The oil fetches a high price on the global market, and fair trade initiatives ensure that profits return to indigenous communities. See Buckthorn, Hippophae, the shining horse next. We scale the rocky slopes of the Himalayas and traverse the windswept coasts of northern Europe to find a hardy shrub with silvery leaves and clusters of brilliant orange berries. Hippophae rhamnoides, commonly known as sea buckthorn, has adapted to some of Earth's harshest climates. Its scientific name comes from the Greek words hippos, horse, and phaos, shining, inspired by ancient stories of warriors feeding the plant's leaves and berries to their horses. The animals' coats reportedly grew lustrous, and their wounds healed faster, leading to the legend of the shining horse. Sea buckthorn bears 2 distinct oils, one from its seeds and another from its fruit pulp. Seed oil is rich in linoleic and alpha-linolenic acids, omega-6 and omega-3, while the pulp oil contains high levels of palmitoleic acid, a rare omega-7 fat that is also found in human skin. Palmitoleic acid has gained attention for its potential to support skin repair and metabolic health. Both oils teem with carotenoids, giving them a vivid orange color and powerful antioxidant properties. Traditional Tibetan and Russian medicine used sea buckthorn oil to treat burns, frostbite, and digestive ailments. In the mid-20th century, Soviet space and aviation programs reportedly used sea buckthorn ointments to protect cosmonauts' skin from cosmic radiation. How does a thorny shrub that thrives on barren mountainsides become a prized ingredient in high-end cosmetics and even astronaut kits? The answer lies in resilience. Sea buckthorn's ability to grow in saline soils and withstand extreme cold and drought makes it invaluable for erosion control. After the Cultural Revolution, China planted vast swaths of sea buckthorn to combat desertification on the Loess Plateau. Farmers discovered that pressing the berries and seeds yielded a nutrient-dense oil with hints of mango and citrus. Modern research shows that sea buckthorn oil contains a full spectrum of omegas 3, 6, 7, and 9, along with vitamins C, E, and K. Its unique blend of fatty acids can help improve skin barrier function and may support cardiovascular health. As global beauty brands seek natural solutions, demand for sea buckthorn oil has surged, providing income to Himalayan and Mongolian communities who who harvest the berries by hand. Yet the plant is still underutilized in cooking. The oil's intense flavor challenges culinary norms. Innovative chefs are experimenting with sea buckthorn in vinaigrettes and desserts, hinting at a future where this ancient shrub influences modern palates. Ahi flower, the weed that became a fish. As we approach the midpoint of our journey, we turn to a plant that many of us have seen without ever noticing. Boglosoides arvensis, known variously as corn gromwell, alkanet, mung, or by its trademarked name, ahi flower, has long been dismissed as a weed in cereal fields across Europe and North America. Farmers spent centuries pulling it out of wheat rows. Hidden in its tiny gray seeds, however, is a remarkable fat composition. Ahi flower oil contains a combination of omega-3, alpha-linolenic acid, omega-6, gamma-linolenic acid, and, most importantly, stearidonic acid, SDA. SDA is a little-known fatty acid that the human body can convert into EPA, the same beneficial long-chain omega-3 found in fish, about 4 times more efficiently than it can convert ALA. In other words, a modest dose of OI flower oil can deliver similar EPA benefits as a much larger dose of flax oil. What if a lowly weed could produce the same heart-healthy compounds that we currently extract from millions of fish? In the early 2000s, researchers at Scotland's Rural College and Technology Crops International selectively bred wild buglosoides plants to increase their oil content and SDA levels. The resulting Ahi flower variety yielded seeds with 18 to 20% stearidonic acid, alongside appreciable amounts of gamma-linolenic acid and oleic acid. In 2015, the European Union granted Ahi flower oil novel food status, allowing its sale as a dietary supplement. Farmers who once eradicated the weed now plant it intentionally. It requires little fertilizer, resists pests, and can be harvested mechanically. 1 hectare of Ahi flower produces as much EPA equivalent oil as 20 tons of fish. This doesn't mean fish oil will disappear, but it offers vegetarians and environmentalists an alternative and reduces pressure on marine ecosystems. The story of Ahi flower is still unfolding. Its taste is mild and nutty, making it suitable for smoothies or capsules. Its high SDA content invites further research into metabolic effects. Most of all, it demonstrates that sometimes solutions hide in plain sight, camouflaged as weeds at the margins of our fields. Climax/turning point. By now, you've met 5 very different plants: a Bronze Age oilseed from Europe, a desert tree that perfumes and purifies, a star-shaped vine from the Amazon, a hardy shrub of the highlands, and a weed reborn as a superfood. Each offers a fat composition that rivals or surpasses olive oil in specific ways: Camelina's balanced omega-3 to omega-6 ratio and vitamin E content, Moringa's long shelf life and mono-unsaturated richness, Sasha Inchi's astonishingly high omega-3 concentration, a sea buckthorn's rare omega-7, and Ahi flower's stearidonic acid. But beyond nutrition, their stories reveal common themes that converge in our turning point. First, diversity matters. The global focus on a handful of oil crops, soybean, palm, canola, sunflower, and olive, has left us vulnerable to monoculture failures, price spikes, and ecological damage. Heritage crops expand our resilience by offering oils tailored to different climates and uses. Second, cultural memory has value. Many of these plants were integral to traditional societies. Their decline was not due to inferiority, but to economic shifts. Rediscovering them restores cultural heritage and supports indigenous knowledge. Third, sustainability is key. Camelina and Ahi flower thrive on marginal soils with minimal inputs. Moringa trees fix nitrogen and prevent erosion. Sea buckthorn stabilizes hillsides. Sasha Inchi supports reforestation. These crops align with regenerative agriculture and carbon sequestration goals. And finally, innovation emerges at the intersection of old and new. We use advanced chromatography to measure fatty acids, yet we rely on ancestral roasting methods to make Sacha Inchi palatable. Watchmakers recognized benoil's stability long before chemists named behenic acid. Modern consumer demand for natural skincare drives sea buckthorn cultivation, just as ancient healers used its berries for wounds. So what unites these stories into a single revelation? The turning point is the realization that the search for superior functional fats isn't about finding one miracle oil to replace olive oil. Instead, it's about embracing a mosaic of oils, each with its own strengths, suited to different culinary, therapeutic, and industrial roles. By diversifying our fat sources, we can better nourish ourselves and our planet. Imagine a pantry where Camelina oil drizzles over salads, Moringa oil infuses perfumes and lubricates watches, Sacha Inchi oil enriches smoothie bowls, sea buckthorn oil brightens desserts and nourishes skin, and A-flower supplements provide EPA without harvesting fish. The path forward lies not in replacing the olive, but in expanding our oil repertoire and honoring the heritage behind each seed. Falling action/implications. With this insight in mind, let's consider the broader implications. Adopting these heritage oils requires more than curiosity. It entails thoughtful agriculture, equitable trade, and culinary adaptation. Farmers must evaluate which crops fit their climate and markets. While Camelina's short growing season makes it an excellent option for dryland rotation, but its erucic acid content must be managed through breeding. Moringa trees can restore degraded lands and provide nutrition, yet they need protection from overharvesting and secure markets for benoil. Sacha Inchi thrives in the humid tropics. Its cultivation must support indigenous stewardship rather than corporate exploitation. Sea buckthorn offers erosion control and lucrative berry products, but harvesters must negotiate fair pricing for their labor. Ahai flower's breeding and novel food approvals hint at regulatory hurdles that small farmers may struggle to navigate. For consumers, introducing new oils means learning new flavors and uses. Camelina's nutty taste complements roasted vegetables but smokes at lower temperatures than peanut oil. Benoil is nearly flavorless and excels in cold applications. It can be used for dressings, massage oils, or as a carrier for essential oils. Sacha Inchi oil's earthy, grassy notes pair well with smoothies and salads. Its strong flavor may require blending with milder oils. Sea buckthorn's tangy, fruity oil can be drizzled over yogurt or incorporated into desserts, but a little goes a long way. Ahai flower oil is mild enough to take by the spoonful as a supplement. Embracing these oils broadens our palates and deepens our relationship with the plants that sustain us. On a global scale, cultivating heritage oil crops diversifies rural economies. When women in Kenya plant moringa trees, or Peruvian farmers cultivate Sacha Inchi instead of coca, they gain income, autonomy, and pride in ancestral practices. When European farmers sow Camelina or Ahai flower, they reduce reliance on imported soy and fish oils. When Himalayan communities harvest sea buckthorn, they help stabilize soil and protect watersheds. These are not just niche products for wealthy consumers. They are engines of ecological restoration and cultural renewal. Conclusion. Our journey has taken us far beyond the familiar olive groves. We've traced a thread through time and across continents, connecting seeds pressed in Bronze Age Europe, oils sealed in Egyptian tombs, star-shaped pods revered by Amazonian tribes, berries that gave horses a radiant sheen, and weeds turned into nutritional powerhouses. Each story reminds us that the foods we take for granted are the result of countless choices made by ancestors, merchants, farmers, and scientists. When we overlook diversity, we risk losing not only genetic resources, but also the cultural narratives that give food meaning. As you walk through your local market, perhaps you'll seek out a bottle of Camelina oil or try a drop of sea buckthorn in your smoothie. Maybe you'll read labels and discover Sacha Inchi lurking in granola or Moringa oil in natural cosmetics. Perhaps you'll support a cooperative that plants Moringa trees or harvests ahi flower seeds. At the very least, you'll know that healthy fats are not a monolith, but a vibrant spectrum rooted in history and ecology. In the end, the appeal of these rare heritage crops isn't simply that they produce superior functional fats, though they do. It's that they invite us to broaden our view of nourishment, to appreciate the ingenuity of past cultures, and to build a more resilient food future. Who would have thought that a weed, a desert tree, a Bronze Age oilseed, an Andean vine, and a thorny shrub could together tell a story about healing ourselves and the planet? That question, like our journey, is one worth pondering as you drizzle, dip, or sip your next oil.